Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza, and with me is Agam Vakil. Good morning, Agam.
Hi. Good morning, Navneet. How are the markets looking right now?
Well, it's the expiry day, all-important day, and we are witnessing a short covering bounce as Nifty is back above the mark of 11,300, trading with gains of about 0.5%. The rollover plates will show you a better picture of how the positions are being rolled over now for the August series. Remember, so far, July series has been the worst series for 2019. It's seen cuts of about 4%, 4.5%. Bank Nifty has also seen cuts of about 6 to 7% so far for this series. Bank Nifty right now is trading above the mark of 29,000. It did breach that mark in yesterday's trade. So 29,170 is the level. 0.7% gain seen for the Bank Nifty, and the rollovers stand at about 53%. The India Volatility Index, which fell nearly 5% yesterday, when we opened today, it was up, but from those higher levels, we've seen some cool off coming as the markets inch higher. 3.5% lower for India VIX. Quite comfortable level for the bulls, I would say 12.3. Most of your sectoral indices are now trading with gains. So you've got the Nifty Pharma Index, which has bounced quite sharply. That's up about 1.7%. Also, indices like financial services, FMCG, and the realty pack are up and about, but some bit of loss is seen for the Nifty Metals Index. That's just marginally lower in trade as we speak, down about 0.3%. And in terms of positioning, the options data, what is that indicating on the expiry day? Maximum open interest on the call side is at the 11,400 strike. So though we bounced back, we are trading above the mark of 11,300. 11,400 is sitting with maximum open interest, so that could be a bit of resistance on the upside. On the downside, your maximum open interest is now at the 11,300 put, which so far has added about 31 to 32 lakh shares. And of course, because of time decay, the premium has fallen to about 34 to 35 points. That strike is quoting a premium of about 9 points right now. That's just about 11 points. So watch out for the range of 11,250 on the downside to about 11,400 on the upside for the day, Agam.
All right, let's take a look at all the stocks which are buzzing in trade. And there may not be a lot of stocks out there which will actually see an increase in open interest, at least as far as July futures are concerned. But among a handful of them, we are seeing a surge in the likes of BPCL, Bharti Airtel, Asian Paints. Asian Paints and BPCL are actually moving less than 1%. Bharti Airtel, however, is advancing by just 1%, and there's 26% increase in OI there. Hindalco and M&M are among others, which are seeing some sort of a buzz here and there. But there certainly will be a lot more stocks which will be seeing unwinding in the July series, considering it is expiry. So we do have the likes of Ramco Cement, Balkrishna Industries, Arvind, and L&T Finance Holdings all buzzing in trade. Of course, in terms of the big movers, we only have substantial moves in Arvind and Reliance Infra. So we keep an eye on that one. And of course, as usual, we also keep an eye on a lot of these earnings which are coming out in today's day of trade, Navneet.
So a lot of stocks to take views on, and particularly three stocks where we would like to take views from our experts. One of them is Berger Paints, which has been up and about for the third straight session. Remember, after Asian Paints came out with the numbers yesterday, in the second half, Berger Paints also went up in trade. Some rub-off impacts seen on that counter. Long positions have been seen. We'll ask our experts whether there is more upside here or not. Shriram Transport, which was weak ahead of the numbers, it snapped the three-day fall. No negative surprises coming from the numbers, and that's the reason why the stocks moved higher in trade today. And Jubilant Food Works, where SSG growth disappointed the street, the stock was down 6%. It opened lower, by the way, when the markets opened, but right now the stock's recovered from the lows. So we'll check for the levels on the charts for Jubilant Food Works.
All right, well, let's get in our experts for the show then. But before that, here's a reminder, if you have any queries regarding futures and options markets, you can call us on 022454044141. Or, of course, write to us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube with the AskBQ hashtag. To get in our experts then, we have Ashish Chaturmohta of Sanctum Wealth and Hemen Kapadia of KRChoksey joining us on the show. Good morning to both of you, and thanks for taking the time out. Ashish, I'll start with you. Your view forward, where are we placed right now, and where are we headed from here on?
Good morning, Agam. So yes, I think we have seen a very sharp correction in last couple of few weeks, from almost 12,000 odd zone to 11,000, precisely somewhere close to 220 to 230 area, and now we are seeing some kind of uptrend in today's trading session. Now going forward, we believe that at least in a shorter term, some kind of base has been created around 11,200 220 zone. Keeping that in mind, I think we are expecting a pullback to be seen in the market, and which can extend till 11,450, 460 area. So from here on, I'm expecting at least 100, 110 points kind of rally from current levels at an index level. And I think, any dip towards 11,300, you are going to see some kind of, buying interest coming back. So a strategy would be to buy at current levels and use any dip towards 11,300 to again average onto the positions. Keep 11,250 as in trading stop loss. On upside, 11,450, 460 is what I'm expecting in next 2 to 3 trading sessions in Nifty.
Okay, so Ashish is expecting a bit of bounce back till the levels of about 11,450 or 60. Hi, Hemen, good morning to you and good to have you back on the F&O Show. Any strategy that you have for the expiry day, either on Nifty or on Bank Nifty?
Very good morning to you, Navneet. I think like you mentioned, I think with the call writing, 11.4 is going to be a tough nut to crack as of today. As of yesterday closing, I mean, the rollovers in the Nifty were around 53%. Bank Nifty was slightly low at 42%. So I think we should see some improvement in that as the day goes by. I think I would say sell the 11.3 and 11.4 call options, 11,300 put, 11,000 call just for today. And if you have a slightly longer term point of view, I'd say sell the, either current or the next month 11.8, because like Ashish said, I think there's a bounce which we are undergoing. But there is a gap at around 11.4, which, and not only that, the call OI. So I think 11.4 is going to be slightly dicey to take out in a jiffy now.
All right, fair enough. So let's talk about stocks then. And Hemen, you actually have 2 long calls for today. Can you take us through those?
Yes, I think the first one is the easy part. I think Bajaj Auto. I think deeply oversold. We are seeing a recovery of sorts, Agam. And yes, I think a bounce is underway. It's probably a bounce, nothing more than that. And obviously, expiry the movement, the haywire. But even then, so buy in Bajaj Auto. It's moved up a bit, so I would need to tweak the figures because it's already moved up, Agam. So we are at around 25.60 in the cash market. So buy 25.50, stop loss 25.25, target 2600. This is probably just an intraday call. And the second one is Bharat Forge. I think Bharat Forge is something which looks positive from a near-term point of view, Agam. So buy Bharat Forge at, okay, that has also moved up a bit. So buy Bharat Forge at around 432, stop loss 428, target 440, intraday or maybe just a day.
Okay, so those are some stock future strategies coming from Hemen. Ashish, you too have 3 long calls for the day, and we wanted to take view on Berger Paints, which features on your list.
Yeah, so I think 3 calls which I like, which are structurally in a very strong trend, and we are seeing consistent OI build up and good rollovers in these stocks. So first one is ICICI Pru. In fact, I had a call in ICICI Pru for last 3-4 trading sessions. Today it is a gap up post results, but I think this stock has a potential to show further up move. The reason being, this is one stock which has underperformed the broader insurance basket. So if you look at HDFC Life, SBI Life, they have seen a very, very strong uptrend in last 3 to 4 weeks time frame. During this time frame, ICICI Pru was in a consolidation phase, and post its results we have seen this uptake of 4%, but definitely it is still underperforming HDFC Life and SBI Life in terms of performance. So I think there will be a good catch up move post results. There is going to be a lot of renewed buying interest. Keep 385 as a stop loss. 405 is my short term target, but positionally I believe ICICI Pru is poised for a move towards 430 odd zone. So I think positionally also 7-8% kind of upside from current levels could not be ruled out in the stock. Berger Paints is looking very promising. You mentioned that it has been moving up for last 2-3 trading sessions, but if you look at on a monthly chart for last almost 6 months, stock is broadly into a consolidation phase between 338 on upside to 300 on downside, and this is kind of creating a triangle formation with a very strong OI build up on the long side, so which indicates that the possibility of this triangle breakout on upside is very, very high. Post Asian Paints results, I think there is going to be a lot of buying interest being seen in Berger Paints as well. So keeping all this in mind, I think Berger Paint is a buy with a stop below 322, on upside 338, which was the previous all-time high. or a recent swing high could be a target. But looking into this chart again, if 338 gets crossed over, then I think stock is poised for much stronger upside towards 350, 355 zone. Power Grid, again one stock which is making a 52-week high with a very, very strong OI concentration. In today's trading session itself, we are seeing a very heavy buildup of position. So keeping all this in mind, I think Power Grid could be initiated as a buy. 207 would be my trading stop loss. 220 is a short-term target one can expect in Power Grid as well.
Okay, well, fair enough. And of course, Bajaj Paints was something that we wanted to talk about, so it's on our list. Well, Ashish has spoken and he likes Bajaj Paints. Let's pull that up, and if we can actually take Hemen's view on that one as well. Perhaps we do have a consensus, because it's up around 2%, 67% rollovers, and as Ashish has said, it's made a little bit of an up move off late in the past 2 or 3 sessions. And of course, Ashish is keeping an eye on 338 on the upside. But Hemen, what about you? How would you play Bajaj Paints levels that you would keep an eye on?
I think, yes, we've seen a very good OI build-up, what is showing around 25% combined OI build-up. So, frankly speaking, we've been consolidating for a long time, Agam. Yes, there is a very distinct near-term bias. The technicals have turned positive, along with the OI build-up seems to suggest that it is probably setting the stage for a breakout. But my cash market level as far as Bajaj Paints is concerned would be 336, Agam. We have not closed above this level on the weekly chart for almost 11 months now. So we are walking into a virtual roadblock, which is not very far away. Yes, there is some near-term upside, 8-9 points, and we might break out, but keeping the history in mind and the strength of the resistance, I have a feeling that we need just a little bit of consolidation before that happens. Markets are not very sanguine. Standalone, Bajaj Paints looks good, Agam, but we already moved 10%. So after a 10% move, expecting it to break out from a 1-year consolidation resistance level seems a tall order. So near-term upside, yes. OI, yes. Technically turning positive, yes. But I believe a spot of consolidation, and then when it takes out 335, 336, that's where any expect a further upside.
Okay, that's the technical view coming in on Bajaj Paints, which has seen fresh long positions now for the second straight day. Let's move on and take views on Shriram Transport. Remember, the stock was weak throughout yesterday post-market as the numbers came in. No negative surprises coming in, and the profits were up about 10 to 11%, and the stocks bounced back from the lows that we've seen, up about 5% in trade. Rollovers stand at about 78%. Ashish, let me come to you on Shriram Transport. With today's move, considering it was weak from Monday to Wednesday, has it bottomed out, and can we expect more upside from current levels, or do you expect this rally to fizzle out?
I think stock will be in range bound session. I think there was a good sell-off in yesterday's trading session on the hope that results might come bad, and when you saw good results, the short covering happened and stock moved to 7-8%, now back to flat. So yes, maybe some more uptake could not be ruled out, but my sense is stock is going to be range bound between 940 to 990 area. So I don't expect any significant up move or down move from current levels in Shriram Transport.
Okay, well, let's move on and talk about Jubilant FoodWorks then. The earnings came in disappointing. We did see same-store sales growth, which was not up to expectations, and because of that, we saw a very sharp decline yesterday. Today, there seems to be a little bit of recovery considering 2% up move. It's currently at 1180, and that's for the spot prices, and the rollovers stand at 75%. So we're reasonably high rollovers, possibly even higher by the end of today's session. Hemen, how do you go about Jubilant FoodWorks if one were to take a bet towards the long or the short, and levels that you would keep an eye on?
I think I wouldn't short it at this point in time. The long is slightly, okay, if I were to take a long, it's definitely not a short. The OI is showing a 1.64, that's not much percent up, but the intraday move, Agam, has been pretty significant in the sense we're off almost 70 points from the day's low. So the stop loss, if I were to keep it in the intraday low, would not mean a risk-reward ratio in favor of a long, and closer to 1200 we're walking into a brick wall. So frankly speaking, it's in a no trade zone. We remain in a medium and longer term downtrend. Currently, I would take this as a bounce. Yes, if we take out 1200 decisively, I think then that would mean a technical green shoot from a medium term point of view and possibility a further upside. So, frankly speaking, it's too late to buy, too early to sell. But yes, short covering, and yeah, looking at the way it's moved today, I'm not sure it quantifies as a short as of now. Okay, it's 11.18 cash. Even if it comes down by 30 points, then the risk reward ratio gets to be in favor for a long, but not a short.
Okay, that's Jubilant FoodWorks for you, which is recovered from the lows that we'd seen in the morning session. Let's just start taking some queries now. On YouTube, Aurobindo, Niv, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but NIV something which is written. He's holding Aurobindo Pharma futures at about 630, not mentioned which series it is, but definitely be it July or August. I think the futures are trading way, they are trading way below his buy price of about 630. Ashish, at higher levels, some bounce back actually seen in most of the pharma stocks today, but particularly for Aurobindo Pharma, if somebody is holding at levels of 630, what should be the right strategy?
Honestly, I would say this is one stock which has disappointed me. In fact, I have gone wrong twice in Aurobindo Pharma in last couple of few trading sessions. I think there's a huge liquidation which took place from almost 780 odd zone to 558 in the stock, and I would say that it is near an important make or break level, because if 530 540 levels are held on, then definitely there can be a strong bounce back towards 600 620 zone. But in case if we break 530, then I think we are headed for much severe correction in Aurobindo Pharma. So I would suggest that keep a very strict stop loss somewhere around 530. If 530 is held on, then there could be a good bounce towards 600 620. Around those levels, try to take an exit call, but make sure you keep some stop loss on downside at around 530, or there could be an alternative strategy to hedge your position is by buying a 540 strike price put along with your long position. So in case there is a significant drop, this put option will give you a lot of protection on downside.
Okay, well, Vodafone Idea had an interesting move yesterday, and not for those who were long in the markets, considering we actually saw Vodafone Idea, well, just very briefly move below the mark of 10. Well, possibly for some signifying it that it is in a penny stock category. Now, it's not a very liquid stock, as you can see on your screen. There you have it. It went back to around 9.95. So it's playing, with those levels right now. We have another question from Nivvi, and he says that he's bought the futures at 11.5. That's the Vodafone Idea August futures. And well, I reckon he wants a view on this one. So, well, Ashish, I'll come back to you on this one. How would you play Vodafone Idea?
No, I would not play at all. In fact, this is simply, the stock is in a range on downside. 10 is an important level. If it breaks, but if it sustains below 10, then maybe further downside. But definitely at these levels, to create a short position is also a very tricky thing. So I'll just skip any trading position in Vodafone Idea.
Okay, skip taking any position into Vodafone Idea. The counter has been pretty volatile, and it's been grinding lower throughout this year so far. Okay, I'm just going to take one query from Facebook now. Girish Kumar writes to us, and he has a query on UPL. He's asking if is it good to short from current levels. Remember, in the last half an hour or 45 minutes of trade yesterday towards the closing hours, we did see UPL witnessing some selling pressure. It did close with cuts of about 4 to 4.5%. Not doing too much so far. They will be coming out with the numbers on 31st July next week. Hemen, on the charts, how is this one looking? And considering the fall that we saw in last half an hour of trade yesterday, would you advise shorting at current levels?
I would probably short if we break yesterday's low, Namit. We've been here for the last two trading sessions, and we haven't gone below 609 in the cash market for the last two trading sessions. The next month, OI is showing 12% long, but I think that's more of rollover rather than anything else. So, frankly speaking, I'd short it if it breaks 609. Well, yes, having said that, we remain weak. We walked into an intermediate correction, and I don't think a new high looks to be on the horizon at least the next month or two. So definitely downward bias, but just to play it safe, I'd sell it when we break today and yesterday's low, which is around 609 in the cash.
Okay, well, there you have it. And let's also take a quick view on RBL Bank, because we do have a question there from Akash Agarwal. In order to take a position in the August futures, let's pull up RBL Bank. As we all know, RBL Bank has also been quite weak of late, especially after its earnings. And even though the earnings were steady, well, there was a lot of decline coming through. It's at around 451. RBL Bank, Hemen, I'll come back to you on this one. How would you address this?
Well, it's we've seen 12% OI, but continues to be a short. But in this situation, after this disastrous fall, no, I would not short it. And there is no reversal signal as yet, Agam. So I would, I think, prefer to stay away. But if it falls from 600 to 450 in a matter of 5 days, it doesn't quantify as a short, because there could be a dead cat bounce coming in any time. So not a trade, but definitely not a short.
Okay, so Hemen is advising not to short at current levels. Remember, the counter has already seen a huge beating post the numbers due to the commentary that they had given. The next query is on Axis Bank, which comes in on YouTube from Anand. He wants some views on this counter for the next, I guess, monthly expiry. Ashish, in the month of July, it's come off from those levels of 800 to now trading at levels of 720, and also very close to its 200-day moving average, which is somewhere about 699. Any strategy? What are the charts indicating? Would you advise taking any bet for the next monthly expiry?
So from here, I don't see major downside coming into Axis Bank. In fact, around 700, we expect the stock to show a lot of stability. It might take some time to consolidate at these levels, but if I have to trade, I'll trade with a positive bias. You know, when in these kind of scenarios, you cannot simply take a long future or short future position, because when the stock has fallen and has come to a reasonable support level, you expect them to show some bounce back. But in case of futures, the volatility can hit you in terms of your stop losses. So the ideal strategy would be to create a bull call spread for the month of August, wherein one can initiate a long option in 720 strike price of call option of Axis Bank, and to reduce the cost, one can short 760 strike price call of Axis Bank. So that will keep, you know, the risk reward very favorable, and in case there is a volatility, this bull call spread will give you a lot of comfort in terms of holding on to your positions.
All right, and I think we have a final question on escorts. This one is from Vivek Bhuta. He says that he has a long position in the cash market at 700. Well, Vivek, we're going to take this query because it's also in the futures and options space. And should I buy puts to limit my loss, or should I exit? Okay, that's an interesting question. Well, considering he is long in the futures market and at 700, he wants to know if he can actually hedge his position by buying certain puts. Ashish, can he?
Yeah, he should ideally buy a put option, because my sense is the stock has broken multiple monthly supports below 540 odd zone. In fact, I had a short call 3-4 days back, and even I believe that this weak trend can continue. So the best way is to protect the long position by buying a 480 strike price put option of escorts. There can be intermittent pullback rally, but since till the stock does not close above 500 zone, I think the trend is going to remain weak, and that's what we are witnessing in most other tractor names. We are seeing Mahindra and Mahindra correcting every day, so that is not a good sign. So I think escorts also is going to get impacted out of it, and I think you know, maybe a downside swing towards 440, 450 could not be ruled out. So keeping this in mind, buy 480 strike price put to protect your long positions.
Okay, that's the view on escorts. Just want to revisit the markets. There is some supply which is coming at higher levels. Remember, we've snapped the 5-day fall being the expiry day. This could also be a short covering bounce. The high of the day was 11,360. So we've come off nearly 60 points from the high point. VIX is down about 2% right now. The broader markets are just about managing to trade in the positive territory, and Bank Nifty is still above the mark of 29,000. 30,000, somewhere about 29,100. Metals is seeing a huge beating. That's down about 1% nearly. And the Nifty PSU banking index is the other one, which has seen some selling pressure. In terms of individual stock futures so far, what is doing well? The top gainer, by the way, is Bharati Infratel or Nifty. They came out with the numbers, which were mixed set of numbers, but the stock's doing well. Other than that, you've got Reliance Capital, which is up about 6%. Shriram Transport, we've discussed on the show. And ICICI Prudential was Ashish's top pick, which is doing quite well. I think that's a day's high now, trading around level of 400 on the cash side. Pharma counters have bounced back. So you've got Cadila, which is doing well. Lupin, Cipla, all of them are up and about. And on the losing side, NIT Tech is your top F&O loser, which is down 3.5%. DHFL, PVR, I guess, will be coming out with the numbers today. Ahead of that, it's weak today, but I think last two sessions were pretty good for PVR. That's down about 3% right now. And stocks like Apollo Tyres and PNB Agam are trading with cuts of about 2%. And just to address Tata Motors as well, which comes out with the numbers today, ahead of the numbers, which are expected to be weak, is down about 1.5%.
Okay, well, take a moment to thank both our experts, Ashish and Hemen, for joining us and taking us through their views and solving a whole host of your queries. You can also check our website at bloombergquint.com, specifically the futures and options pages, for you to aid your trading.
Okay, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show. Thanks a lot for watching, but stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint for more news and updates.